My name is JP. I'm the Managing Director at Hart Print, and today I get to show you around. Come on. So, Hart Print was founded back in July of 2018. The whole idea came from one of my partners, Stephanie, when she, as a part-time or silent partner in a microbrewery here in Montreal, she realized that there were no options for the smaller microbreweries in terms of printing on cans. So, what she did is she started investigating with Alex and I alternatives on printing in small batches, and that's when we fell into the digital printing technology. So with digital printing, we have a lot of advantages. We're able to print in small batches, obviously. We're extremely environmental because we're not using any labels or plastic sleeves, and we also get to deliver extremely fast. On top of it, we can really offer some really cool branding techniques in terms of spot varnish and gloss, matte finishes, just stuff that no one in the industry has seen so far. So we met the Ska team back in, just before we actually started in in January of 2019, when my partner Alex and we took a road trip down to Durango, Colorado, and that's where we just fell in love with the Ska team. These guys get it right. They just have such hard workers. They're so committed to their craft, and we were kind of hooked to their personality right at that point. So you can see over here we have the depalletizer. The depalletizer, we have the cannabis right now. It's completely autonomous. You just have to load your pallet of cans into the printer, and then after that it goes up one layer at a time and sweeps onto the conveyors. We have very little issues with this machine. It's really a tank, and I think Ska's delivered over 800 of these already on the field, so it just goes to show that they got this depalletizer done really well. From the depalletizer, we have a conveyance system also supplied by Ska that feeds right into the top of the printer. Come on, I'll take you a little bit closer. So you can see the cans are feeding into the top of the printer, all by Ska conveyance, and then we get a feed into this printer. Now this printer is super cool. This screen is like a giant iPad, and so we're able to load print jobs one after the next. As you can see here, I could add another job, and you can see it lining up in its queue. It's kind of like the printer that you have at home, but on steroids. And it's a CMYK printer. So what that means is that it has cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and it shoots just the right amount of ink onto the moving can. And we have a UV cure with it, so the cans come out looking great right out of the printer. And we'll take a look at what those look like over here. So these cans, they're right in our wheelhouse. It's real a minimalist design, but they're printed on a white background. But you can see that they look great right out of the printer. So coming out of the printer, we have more Ska equipment. All the conveyance that you see in our shop is all supplied by Ska. So this is our canscalator. You see what we did there? We changed the name a little bit. Going from the canscalator, we feed up onto the mat top. And then with that, we start accumulating for the repal. Now Ska, I know on their website, they are a little bit modest, and they say the repal requires one laborer to oversee. And this is true for the first few months of operation. But after that, and you get the fine-tuning down, it requires very little supervision, and that's why we like the Ska equipment. So we're just going through a layer sweep sequence right now, and we're coming to the end of it. But as you can see, there's no one up here operating it. We just have to do a spot check every once in a while to see what the tier sheet level's at, and make sure it's full. But every once in a while we'll check the nesting pattern, but as you can see, these cans get nested great every time. It's all about the fine-tuning, and after you get that done, there's no other issues. I think what you need to see is just make sure that this tier sheet magazine is full, and even now you're able to take a peek at it from the down from the bottom, and if that's full, then that's really all you got to make sure is the rest is easy peasy. So this is why we love the Ska equipment. The Ska equipment is just super easy to use, super intuitive. It's all mechanical. Something breaks, you're able to look at it, follow a wire to the sensor, and see what's causing your problems. And then it takes some time, but after you see how all of it works, there's a lot of simplicity to the design. They don't overthink things, and it's exactly the Hart Print mentality as well, is that we don't overthink things. We just hard workers, just like the Ska team, and we really saw a lot of ourselves in them, and that's why we ended up choosing to do business with them. They're just great guys, a great team to work with. And the few times that we've had to reach out to their support, they follow up with us extremely quickly. and they get our machines up and running again. Their install teams are great. I think they had to send 3 different install teams when we started off because where the install took a little bit longer than we were hoping for on the printer side. But they did it without any complaints, and they came here and got it all sorted out for us before they left. Really high level of service that we appreciated a ton. I'd absolutely recommend Ska equipment for anyone looking for a depal, repal, any conveyance equipment. They're really creative. As you can see, we're kind of not a unique design, we're a one-off, and they came up with this whole layout for us, and it's worked great. Going forward to the next printer, we're even more excited because we're going to be upgrading to the Magic Bus from the Cannabis. And with the Magic Bus, it's going to even add more automation because we'll be able to queue multiple pallets up at the depal side. It also adds a whole level of safety. Right now, as you can see, I don't know if you want to come over here, we could take a look, but as you can see, before going into the depal, someone's got to remove a top frame from that pallet, and that's always a safety concern for us. So with the Cannabis system and the top frame is removed automatically, it removes one less potential risk of falling. And that's a huge win in our books, as I'm sure it is for many people. We are really pumped to be getting the new Magic Bus for printer line number 2. Right now here we have the Cannabis system, which has worked great for us, but the Magic Bus, which wasn't available when we bought printer number 1, is going to add a whole other level of autonomy to our process. We'll be able to queue up pallets getting ready to go into the depal, so we'll add less labor interaction. We might even be able to reduce our labor force if that's possible, but when we're running 2 printers, it'll allow one person to be able to go back and forth from printer 1 to printer number 2. And I guess the biggest reason why we're excited about Magic Bus is that it's going to add another level of safety. Right now, the guys have to climb up a ladder to remove the top frame, which increases the potential of falling. And this Magic Bus system has an automatic top frame remover, so now it's all going to be done with the forklift. Safety is our number 1 priority, as I'm sure it is for many people out there. And that's why we chose to go with the Magic Bus for the second line.